Oakfield Farm. There's a huge sprawling map, lovely map. Loved playing on that map, but it had a lot more going for it. You know, big fields, small fields, an interesting yard. And so, yeah, I found myself playing Oakfield Farm was much more fun than the time I played, you know, a couple of private sessions on Calmsden. I'd sort of start it, no, that didn't feel right. I'd start it again, no, that didn't feel right. It was just, I spend my time starting the farm up, but not really progressing it because I'm just not feeling that involved with the map. And that's what I mean about trying to find a map for Farm Sim 25. I need a map I can feel at home with. It's sort of, yeah, I feel this has got potential. I need to, you know, I've got some ideas for this one. Now the ideas I can use exactly the same ideas on whatever map I pick. So I could look at it and say, you know what, I'm going to go for a pig farm this time out. And it doesn't matter which map I play on, so long as it's got good setting to set up a pig farm, you know, go with it. That works. But and like Oakfield Farm, I mean that was just a classic opportunity. Oxygen David had set it up with one field for cows, one field for sheep, one sort of area for pigs, and one area for chickens. It took me ages to find out where we'd hidden the chickens. And eventually I came across the stables for the horses. But they were all on the map there. And then when the farming agency took it over to make it more friendly for Maize Plus, which is, I decided I was going to play with Maize Plus, they added 2 extra sheep fields. And the sheep field capacities were 500. Now at that point it's like, oh, I can have 1,500 sheep. Well, heck, yeah, that's a goal. So we went for the 1,500 sheep farm, which was a lot of fun. And we were playing with seasons, so there was all that going on as well. The making hay, multiple stages of making hay, decays, and just lots and lots and lots of awesome extra stuff, and just made for a really interesting thing. And my sheep were breeding so fast that I had to cut down the flock to 750, 250 in each field by winter, so that during the spring months when the lambs start being born, I had capacity for every sheep to have 1 lamb. And that's how it, yeah, that's how the farm worked. And I think because with seasons and the other mods I was playing with, I should have gone into the workshop. We'll do that now. Yeah, because of because you only produced wool during spring, when obviously the sheep grow the wool for winter and then you shear them in spring, and so sheep bales or bales of wool were produced during the spring months only. So after the spring months, I would sell off the excess sheep. Okay, next service in 40 hours. We made as much money from sheep sales as we did from wool sales. Okay, so here we are. So it's going to cost me 8,000 to service this vehicle. I can wait another 18 hours before I have to. It was last serviced at 63 hours. We're now at 90. So I'm just going to repair it, which is the normal, puts the condition back to 100%. And then later on, maybe next time we're in here, we'll be much closer to service time. And that'll reset the thing. But at the moment, this tractor does need to come in for servicing quite a bit more frequently than it does at pristine. And even when I service it, it's still going to come in a little bit more frequently than a brand new purchase tractor. Not significantly noticeable, but it is going to be a little bit more noticeable. But that's fine. I don't mind that. Okay, put this away. I'll put the mower away. Maybe I'll put the mower away in a while. I think. First things first. We'll do that. I'm going to drive over here and we'll get that partly compacted. So only 622,000 litres, and I do not have the troublesome. Okay, I might need to get the wheel loader over here and just smooth out the top a bit. I think once we get driving, once we get stuck on the silage, oh man, this is a very rough. Okay. Well, that didn't work, so I'm not going to do that right away. As I said, I'll probably get the wheel loader to shovel in the divots so that you can actually drive a vehicle over that. Don't know where the wheel loader's hidden. Oh, I know where the wheel loader's hidden. Okay, you're good there. We'll put the mower away. That's a good start. Really? There we go. The wheel loader's in that shed there, and I think it's got forks on it, so I'm going to have to switch to the bucket. Oops. Okay, engine off. Okay. So, what's going on with this one? We do not have any liquid spray in. just need to run around these two. Oops. No. First things first, we can't run around those two four fields even until liquid fertilizer. Go. I think I've also got some herbicide in that tank as well. I did a bunch of spraying contracts. And there we go. Full. Unfold. Now I could oh. 10 off crop sensor. Crop sensor is on. I was going to say I could just set this if on a worker course play. But really, it's one of those jobs, it's a little bit more interesting than the other stuff I have planned to do for the rest of the day. Namely, sell a little bit of silage and try and get that silage bunker compacted. And this really doesn't take that long. Sprayer is a quick piece of equipment. This is awesome. Okay. And also rounding off the corners here does result in me occasionally hitting the hedges far less frequently. But not always. Okay, this field is good. All right, running out of we are putting quite a bit down here, but you know, on the grand scheme of things, grass is not very demanding when it comes to nitrogen, so we're not going to use much, and we're going to get this job done real quick. Alrighty. How are we doing? 10:30. And selling some silage will get me a chance to drive the truck for a little while. Of course, I could use two carts. I could I could put the Zerian on the non-loading wagon, get that loading up whilst we drive the truck over, and vice versa. So I could relay the transfers. And I am thinking we could maybe chop those trees down and expand these 3 fields into one. Give us a little bit more grass on our cuts. Okay. think that's at least this week the booms aren't bouncing around like they're at a disco. Which last week was a rather annoying, distracting thing. Oh, missed a bit. Twice. Okay, and that one. Alright, fold it up next. Indeed. And again, I think we're using this one because it had, it was on sale. We've got very little brand new pieces of equipment on the farm. I tend to, you know, what I'm sure my computer listens to me, because what it seems to happen is I'm driving around, it's like, oh, I think we could use a 375 horsepower tractor, another one. And the store sales resets over the course of a day, and the very next day, oh look, there's a 375 horsepower tractor for sale. Oh, okay then. There's very few pieces of brand new pieces of equipment that I've bought. I think things like the horse weeder I bought new because it's a hoe and it's got good good features for a mod, so I kind of like it. And we need a hoe because we're doing direct seeding, and if you direct drill a field, it appears that the weeds grow 2 stages by the time they appear. So a normal weeder will not fix them. And that's kind of a problem. So we have to use a hoe to get rid of all the weeds that spawn on the fields. Thus, yeah, I had to buy one, and it's either that or the Carrera mod. I think most of the weeders on that are actually hoes, and again, they're cheap. They're a really nice model. I like the horse ones because Giants take their time to put, you know, moving parts on them. They didn't have to, but it does make it look good when you're driving across a field. Anyway, let's...
I need you to peel and cut up the sweet potatoes and get them cooking.
And we're into the last field. Which is good. So, once we're done here, let's turn that way. So again, don't need to come back to this field until August for the next grass cut. Oh, there's a big headland off to the left here. We could make this field bigger. Not going to, but could. I think this field is just it doesn't fit together with the other four very well. So making all four into a single field doesn't really work too good. And then although it would increase the amount of grass we could get from them, I don't know. I mean, I'm using course play, so it really doesn't matter how well the fields fit together. I'm not relying on farm sim workers to figure out how to work the entire field. So that's a good thing. All right. And again, I haven't really done any for science testing to see whether yield is actually respectful of the nitrogen levels. I mean, you kind of think it is because you cut a field of grass and the act of mowing it adds a level of fertilization in base game, and then all you have to do is do a grass field roller, or what I'm doing here, to bring it up to the second level. So I don't know if it's a thing. Obviously for arable crops, we've done enough testing that yes, you want to make sure you've got your nitrogen right, and you want to make sure you've got your pH right. If you don't do that, you will get a lower yield. So last bit, and we probably used about 1,400 litres maybe, I guess. But grass is all good to go. Now I need to find my truck. Oops. Hit the bucket of snow. And that goes there. Need to press a button. That one worked. Okay. And just that little trip used 300% maintenance condition. 3%. Did I say 300? So I can go back in the shed for a few days. Oh, we're way back. Let's bring it forward to the far wall. That's good enough. All right, jump out. Okay, truck. Not the greatest. Let's try that one again. All right. Semi-trailer, that one. Okay, going to turn that off. relocate this into the grass silage bunker. This is seriously showing off the unevenness of the yard. Okay, I'm going to unload from this side, and then